Right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first meeting of 2024, the January meeting, which is in fact a show and tell by members. And we are very happy that the Federation of Inter-Asian Philately is still sponsoring us for another year. And and we are very grateful for their sponsorship. So that we can have the meetings online. So I think this is a show and tell meeting, and I think we got a few members who have things to share with us. I think I shall actually stop sharing, and I think Richard had probably want to start first because he's still got things to say. And right, Richard, would you like to start first, since you're a bit
Yes,
time?
I can try. It won't take very long, but it'll probably take longer to sort out the technical stuff than to.
Yes. Okay. Well, why don't you start first?
Okay, I'll share screen.
Yeah.
Okay. How's that look?
Showing us. Yeah.
Yeah. Today is a show and tell, but I don't have any. Well, I do, but I didn't have time to tell, so I'm going to ask instead. Take slightly less time.
That's the idea. Yeah.
Okay. Can everyone see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So hopefully. I've am studying the branch post offices, and while I was doing that, I think it's quite well known that these post offices had minds of their own. Sometimes they did A and the other one did B, C, or X, Y, Z, which is rather strange. Anyway, for this Sha Tau Kok, I think everybody knows Sha Tau Kok branch post office. It opened on the 16th of April, 62 in a new building. Previously, it was thought to have been in the police station before the war. It's not 100% sure about that, but the location of that police station was at Starling Cove, some distance actually from Sha Tau Kok. This building housed the post office and the fire station, which was a common theme around the New Territories in the 60s. And we can see here that on the opening day, two of the regular punters, police force, Mr. Hale, who I think was looked after the dogs in New Territories, and A.F. Evans, who I think is a well-known collector of the time. So one on the left is the standard one, and we can see the relatively new type of c.d.s with Sha Tau Kok at the top and Hong Kong brackets 1 at the bottom for the ordinary mail, and the same c.d.s but with 2 for the registered mail. However, we can see sometime later, sometime in the late 60s or something like that, then they swapped them around. So we can see here, the top one is in July 62 with numeral 1. And then by 73, it had changed to 2. And then for the registered ones, the bottom is not very clear, but you have to believe what I say. The top one is in October 65 with registered numeral 2,
Mm.
and the bottom one is January 68 with numeral number 1. So they swap them round. This also happened at 1 or 2 others, but I haven't really had the time to put it all together. But the question is, why did they do this? What's the point? Because if there was a general direction from the head office to do this, then everybody would have done it, but everybody did not. Branch post offices, some of them kept the same numerals throughout, others changed. So I throw that on the dance floor, as it were.
Well, my guess is that it's probably that the post that probably changed postmaster, and they just muddled up and changed the numbers around.
Mm.
So, yeah.
It's not actually not many offices did this kind of thing. They usually stick to one for registered mail and one for ordinary mail. The ordinary mail one has the time index, whereas the registered one has no time index. That's very unusual. I actually haven't noticed that. Yeah. Huh.
Yes, you're right. Well, that interesting point. Why? The whole point of having a time index is for people to see accurately the handling times.
Yeah.
In many branch post offices, actually, the time slope was the next mail close.
Mm.
That's why with many of them in the earlier days, you see they all have 1 or 2 particular times of the day. It was associated with the mail's closing rather than the time of handling by the clerk or whatever.
Yeah.
But why, with a registered one, would you not put the time? Are you frightened that somebody would check up on you? Or?
Maybe they had the well, I mean, for registered mail, you have to have a book, right? You have to record all the numbers. Maybe they did it at the end of the day.
Yeah, I would have thought registered mail had only 1 collection a day. No need for time.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. That's possible. But I mean, quite often it was the addressee who referred to the time and date.
Yeah.
If he was moaning about late delivery or this, that, or the other.
Well,
Yes, yeah.
the time index became irrelevant after in the mid-70s, where all the ordinary mails were sent back to the GPO or to KOWLOON for processing. So it became irrelevant. And
exactly. And so that, I think, a study of this particular date stamp would be quite interesting. I'll put it on the to-do list, which seems to be getting far too long.
Yeah.
The second thing is just a request for a bit of help, really. Sai Kung branch post office reopened in October 1961 at Pat Kong, which actually is some distance from Sai Kung, but they're probably used to that since the pre-war post office in the police station was on the other side of the inlet at Sai Kung and completely divorced from the town itself. In my files and stuff, then of course originally with the skeleton type date stamp was used while they were waiting for the new date stamp as the one that we just discussed. It has been recorded that the new date stamp was first used on the 12th of February 1962. But the closest I can get from what I've got here is the skeleton on the left in 1st of November 61, and the new date stamp with 23rd of March 62. So if anybody's got, just to tidy up my files, if anybody has got a narrower range than that, then I'd very much appreciate hearing from them.
Sorry, Richard, what's the date of the circular date stamp?
23rd of March 62.
Okay.
Of course, they have the same registration label, but there wasn't a huge amount of registered traffic flying around at Sai Kung at that time, I don't think.
You don't see much sort of commercial mail actually from Sai Kung or from Sha Tau Kok. Most of the covers in extent are so philatelic. I would say, philatelic mail.
Yep.
Yeah. Maybe one of your covers is from a company, it's from Sha Tau Kok. Very. There's not many things. Yeah, that's that one. That's the one with the HSBC. Yeah, to the HSBC. This one is from the school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From the school. Yeah. Actually, I've got one or two from the schools in that area.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, one of my stupid things I also do is I have I grow vegetables in an allotment.
Yeah.
And well, last year in March or April, a new person joined the adjoining lot. A young Chinese guy, and I got talking to him. His family had been in UK for quite a long time, but his mother and father were brought up in Sha Tau Kok.
Oh, is that so?
And through conversations with them through him,
yeah,
and they explained about picking up the mail from the shop and all that stuff, which is was the normal practice before this permanent post office came into being.
Yeah. Did they tell you that you need a permit to go there unless you are a resident of Sha Tau Kok?
He needed a permit to visit his parents, but his parents did not need permits. Yes.
Yeah, because they are resident around the area. I'm sure that the people in that Kai Ming school, which is Sha Tau Kok village, they would have special permits to visit, or just to go there, or maybe students who would go there.
Yes.
But for the public, you just can't. You need to apply for like I would say a permit, not quite visa, but a permit from the police station, just to pay a visit, and you have to have a valid reason to do so, either doing business or visiting. Just to say that I'm going to buy some new stamps from the post office is not a good reason. Until recently, it's very, very funny. It really is. Yeah, I didn't know that you were going to show Sha Tau Kok, but I just at the last minute I did something on Sha Tau Kok on my presentation, which you will see, because it was actually opened up to the public 1st of January this year, and only 1,000 people per day could go and visit Sha Tau Kok, but provided that you have to apply for a permit, of course. But it's I mean, and the reason, of course, is tourism rather than anything else. But they're starting to open up Sha Tau Kok.
Well,
what's the reason?
Yes, sorry.
Yeah, what's the reason for the requirement for permits to visit Sha Tau Kok?
Because you can actually walk from Sha Tau Kok to China.
Yeah, I
There's
was going to
also
okay, it's on the border, right? It's right on
at
the
the border.
border.
There's a street called,
Ingo,
this is
in Sha Tau Kok, I can't remember the name of the road. Simon will know this. He's knows much more about this than I do.
yeah
There's a street there
Chongying
where the shop dealing with some of the villages, the main man, as it were, was on one side of the street,
Yeah.
and the border with China runs down the middle of the street.
Yeah.
And then there's a Chinese agency on the other side of the road.
the other side. Yeah.
Interesting.
street-
Okay, I didn't realize it was like right on the
It's
border.
very funny that they call it Zhongying Street. You know, the street marked by markers in the middle, and then if you step over, you are already in China. But now it's really irrelevant. But you know, before 97 is very relevant because you know, but very often that people living there they just basically cross over and then buy things from the British side, or people go over to the Chinese side to buy their stuff. So it's
That's
interesting.
interesting.
Yeah, very interesting
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. Anyhow.
Okay.
Right.
Richard, just a few comments. You mentioned about Sai Kung and the first post-war post office location of Sai Kung, and in fact, yeah, it was close to Pek Kong, and it was in a small node in that area, and in fact that physical premise was a hut, in fact and the office of the field office of the what they call the district office, the New Territory District Office, Sai Kung, the field post field office of the district office, and the post office was co-locating inside that Sai Kung district office. And why they set up the post office there? I think the reason was that there was no other location in Sai Kung town for setting up a government office, and you know, at that time in in fact after the war and between 1940 something and 1961 when the post office was opened, in fact most of the buildings in Sai Kung town were village houses, and today you can still find the Sai Kung old town with all those village houses, and at that time there was no proper location to collocate a post office, except for the police station, which was set up in 1950, if I remember correctly. But you know, at that time the post office was no longer cooperating with the police station to run those services in the new territories. So that's why they set up temporary post office at that location. And yeah, it was not a very good location because yeah, you mentioned that it was quite far away from the Sai Kung town. And in fact, the second office of the Sai Kung post office was another building by just like a hut previously owned by a church and then rented to the government for setting up of the post office near the Sai Kung bus terminus. And then if I think people with ages like me or Andrew who has visited Sai Kung and did some hiking in that area in the 1970s might remember that location, the Sai Kung post office location premise just next to the Sai Kung bus terminus. Yeah,
I've got some of the photos of these places. So
right.
Hopefully you can see the screen. Of course, Andrew is our Andrew, our chairman. That's the same one. And this is the next one.
Don't see Richard.
Then, oh, this is some other stuff.
You're still on the
Yeah, you need to stop sharing and then share the new ones.
Oh, okay. Good grief, where's it gone? So we digress. I was showing something else earlier, but this is, you see PS?
Yeah, this is the pre-war.
That's the police
pre-war
station.
location. Yeah.
The oldie one.
Yeah.
And this is the police station here.
Oh, the pre-war one.
In 1924, this one is. And then there's the road going down to a small jetty here, where the police launches came in. Then up here you can see Pak Hong on the left.
Not in that area. Not in that area. Just along the main road.
Along the main road, yeah.
Is along the main road, but off a little bit from the main road, but still close to the main road.
Yes. So somewhere you see it in this one from 1970. Here you can see PO, that's post office.
Yeah.
So that's it there.
Right.
Mm.
And then later on, I can't find it. My eyesight is so poor. Somewhere in there. But,
yeah, the next one is out of that map area.
So this is
this one.
That's the third one. Second one, or whichever. Second
post-war one. Second post-war one.
Yes,
right.
correct. And that's that one. So thanks again, Andrew, for this one.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
the
Pak
Hong one is this one.
District office, the field office. Yeah.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah. And okay, going to the Sha Tau Kok. Your cover, in fact, from the school. The school is located in the village called Solopun. Solopun today is called the Ghost Village because all the village houses are basically demolished and are ruined. And but you can still find some hiking paths going through the village. And in fact, that area, the area where the school was located, in fact, was not in the restricted area. Every one of us can still go there without the permit. And yeah, but it is quite far away from the Sha Tau Kok town and or the Sha Tau Kok market, where you mentioned about the Chongying Street. In fact, it's quite far away, and it is very remote with no main road, with no road for any cars or other vehicles. You need to walk. In fact,
right.
And if you don't mind, I can share one or two photos of that area where we have walked past.
Fantastic.
Okay, let me show you the Solopun.
I'll show you mine first, as the
okay, that's good.
saying goes. This is the police station.
Yeah, that's Starling Inlet.
Yeah. And this is a map in 1904. And here you can see this is the police station here. And Sha Tau Kok is here. And then later on, again, the police station was here with Sha Tau Kok up here. And so on.
Okay, you can send.
You with all of those.
Wait, Richard. Going up. Yeah. This one. This one. You can see Solopun in the middle of the map, the black and white one. In this.
Yep. Here.
Yeah. Yes. Right.
Yeah. Solopun. Yeah.
So that wasn't in, although it was in the Sha Tau Kok district.
Yeah, but
It
this
wasn't
is
in
far
the
away from
restricted
Sha Tau Kok
zone.
market. Yeah.
Yeah. So even here in 1937,
Uh-huh.
then you have the Sha Tau Kok police station. It's called Sha Tau Kok police station. It was also known as the Starling Inlet police station originally. Let's see if I got some photos to show Ingo, the famous street. Sorry, this is a bit boring.
Yes.
Yeah.
So here we are. This is Chongyi Street.
No.
A modern view.
Yeah. China on the right,
Yes.
Hong Kong on the left.
Yes.
Wow.
Place, isn't it?
Wonder what else there is here. Just bits of rubbish that I've collected. Just some general scene of Sha Tau Kok, 1967. Of course, that was about the time that things started kicking off up in that area. Okay, that's it. That's more than I was intending to do. Sorry.
Thanks, that was very interesting.
Let me show you a few photos of Solapun.
So this is when you were young, is it, Simon?
20 years ago, something like. No, not this one. No, stop here. Let me see. Just a moment, sorry. Okay, this one. And then share screen. Yes. You see the photo?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Solapun. And then yes, these are the village of Solapun.
Oh, it wasn't taken when we were hiking.
Yes.
I remember that building.
Yes. Do you recognize the faces?
Oh no, go back to the third picture. You can see a group of people there. The previous one.
What's it? Okay. This one. Where is
There
it?
was a group of people on the left.
This one? This one?
Okay. No,
This one?
I can't see anything.
Oh, you can't see anything. Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, there was a group of people on the left.
This one? You see
Yeah, there you are.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Yeah, the people in the meeting can recognize the faces.
Oh, I recognize.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, you're going to tell people who they are.
Who is that young guy on the right?
That's the stamp king of Hong Kong today. Okay. Stop share and give it back to Richard to continue.
Okay.
No, I'm done.
All right. Okay.
Unless somebody wants to raise something up.
Actually, I got in my presentation, I got something about Sha Tau Kok too. So, but the modern view, it was just a mere coincidence. I thought that I didn't know that you were doing it in depth. Anyhow, okay. So maybe if I just do my bit and okay. Oh, maybe I could start right at the end. Let me see. Okay, I could start right at the end. And there you go. Opening of Sha Tau Kok to the public. Okay, chapter item number 6. Okay. So yeah. So to tie in with the second phase opening up of Sha Tau Kok, the post office opens on Monday, 1st of January 2024. And they sell special products at the post office. And they have 6 picture postcards of Sha Tau Kok area, pictorial postcards, and then also 2 pictorial rubber caches for the first time. So publics were allowed in, but you know, you have to apply for a permit. But they let a lot of people in. So actually you can see the current site, well, as you said, open on 4th of 16th of April 1962. So this actually, well, I mean, this picture was taken about 1970s. Okay, so this is the most current view of the post office. As you can see, there's well, you can still recognize it's exactly the same building, the windows there, and then the canopies there. Not very much the same canopy, but they built it there. And then you can see actually the letterbox. You can see that there's red one actually painted green with a new digital clock instead of an old clock there. And this was the coil vending machine, and now it becomes the electronic one installed there. And you can still see roughly. I mean, they changed the doors. They had the old wooden doors, which you really need a huge great kick to kick it down. But now they have a flimsy little aluminum door there. So this is the post office now with bilingual, of course, with the post office bilingual. But in the old days, it's still bilingual actually. It's very rare because I mean, in those days it would just mostly just say post office instead of Chinese and English. Okay, you can see the vintage of the vintage old car there, and the modern van. Okay, so inside now they've introduced this, the tourist. It becomes a tourist attraction with the 2 cachet there, and this one actually says opening of Sha Tau Kok on the 1st of January and 2024, and then with a pictorial cachet. And then you can see those postcards. We can get those postcards there. Okay. Right. So this is actually the 1st of January 24. Some guys got there and then got to cancel. And they actually now the vending machine now sells this kind of label, the Bohemian label with P as in post office, STK Sha Tau Kok. And there's a date, the 9th of January 2024. It's a batch number. This is actually the number 2. I think there are only 2 single ring hand stamp or c.d.s, 1 and 2. And note that the 2, I mean, in fact, both of them are made of steel, but this one's for special commemorative day opening. This is actually made of rubber. This one, but I'm sure that they have the steel one in the safe. So this is number 2, okay? And then they've got a double ring one for the sorting, because it's also a delivery office. So if you have missent mail or returned mail, they would have stamped this on the back of the envelope. Okay, so but if you actually post a letter as an ordinary mail instead of when Richard showed with a hand stamp with a time index, nowadays all the letters are being sent back to the CMC, which is Central Mailing Center. Central Mailing Center, something like that. Okay, for processing instead of actually canceling at Sha Tau Kok. Okay. Right. Okay. So that's the bit about Sha Tau Kok. So I'll just continue with my bit, which will take maybe 15-20 minutes. Okay. So the agenda here is I'm going to talk about the French mailboat markings by Philippe Orsetti, which is, I don't know whether you have actually noticed that Philippe has done this magnificent work, which I hope that Philippe will talk about it in a separate Zoom meeting about his new monograph. And then I'm going to talk about this interesting 4-cent postal stationery card and some items from John Tang. He showed me a few things. Okay, so So I don't know. This is actually from the Hong Kong Study Circle website about Philippe's new monograph on the French mailboat markings. Very interesting. If you collect Hong Kong mail or French mail with the boat marks, it's well worth downloading from the website. You have to log in first, and then you can download the document for to study it. I mean, it's basically he based his study on the harmonic sales, the book, and then he I think he added a few added many examples of what with the actual marking. So this is the book that he based his monograph on. And also that he has also done something on the French mailboat that actually picture postcard photos of the ships as well. So you can see all the different line end and Indochine lines, etc. Right. So the chapter 1, I won't go on great detail, but I just want to show a few things. Because these kind of mailboat cancellations, this is the Tigre and the Imperatrice and Donai, and sorry about my French, and Alphe, you know the ships, the name of the French mailboats, the ships, and they actually carried these stamps, these hand stamps on board. So, but you very rarely you do find them on Hong Kong covers. There are a few, but very rarely, much rarer than on French covers, because I mean I'm sure that the French must be quite patriotic people. They especially those Frenchmen in Shanghai, they always make use of the French line instead of the British line. So you actually find them more on the French covers sent from the French post office in Shanghai instead. But I think with the Hong Kong stamps, the one that you showed here is extremely rare that you find this is in purchase. I think. Yeah. Anyway, very rare to actually find it struck on the cover. So this is the first type, just with the name of the boat. And I can show you a letter. This is actually from the French post office in Shanghai to London with a Labordonnais. They shorten it as Labord, in the later c.d.s. So this actually the ship actually left Shanghai on the 19th of June. So this is the back of the cover with the c.d.s to Hong Kong, and then change boats, blah blah blah, etc. Okay, so this is one example, but you do actually find a few of these Labordonnais examples on the letters. This is another one, a little bit scarcer, because this is actually from Hong Kong to Shanghai, paying quite a scarce so-called the China Sea rate, which is the 60 centime rate, and this is called a curly 6, which is actually is a hand stamp. And it's just to collect the charge, and I believe that this must have been struck in Shanghai post office, and so you get the same the mailboat hand stamp on the back, the Hong Kong departure, and the Shanghai arrival back. So it's the same marking. Okay, the second type, then they change over to with the octagonal c.d.s with more details. Actually saying that the French are very, very I think they do put a lot of details into the hand stamps, and there must have been on each boat, each sorting cabin, there must be loads of these hand stamps around, because this is actually Colony Française. So this is actually from French colony. I mean, they use on the French colony instead of. So you actually don't find these actually struck on the covers from Hong Kong, but usually you find them from say from Saigon or the other French colonies. So with the boat, okay, this one actually is in Philippe's monograph, but I think the photograph wasn't very clear. So actually this this letter is very interesting. It's actually carried by Dupuy rather than the FA, because you can see this is FA. So what happened is that I think Lee Scamp actually had study, and he noted that the FA actually left Hong Kong at the end of April '67, and there's never been a Dupuy hand stamp of that. So perhaps that after the Dupuy left the China Sea, he passed that hand stamp to the LFA left Hong Kong, and then they left it to the Dupuy for their use. But anyway, that's not very clear strike, but you can just vaguely actually you can see the wording there. So this is again with a 2 there is a double rate. The French rates are very simple, because to France there's one rate, and then to the rest of seems to be rest of the world is another rate. So whether you're actually sending it to England or Germany or Scandinavia or USA is exactly the same rate. And the bridges are so complex, the rates. Anyway, something to admire about the simplicity of the rates. All right, okay, we move on to the next subject, which is this interesting 4-cent Kiwi postal stationery card with a box Amoy IPO tieprint. I first noticed this card in an exhibit. It's actually it's from a Hong Kong collector in Thailand. So this is the card that he showed. It's actually our member, and you can see it's one of these. I think quite well known, and all of you know about these from Amoy, and it's actually written in the Volapük, which is a constructed language by a German in the 1880s or something, and it's a kind of like English, based on English, but it's got words in German and words in French and some made up words. So I mean, you really need the dictionary to know what they're talking about, unless you know. And during the kind of turn of the century, there were a lot of followers, and actually people actually write books in the Volapük language. So that's this card is quite interesting, because one, it shows several interesting features. One, there's an IPO tieprint on the indicium of the card, okay, without any Chinese hand stamp, or Hong Kong hand stamp, meaning that it has not actually passed through, or maybe not in the official mailbag, but actually when the collector just showed me the whole card, interestingly, there is a single ring Hong Kong c.d.s on the back. Okay, so that has definitely passed through the Hong Kong post office at a point. But you note that the date of the card is actually June the 24th. You know, it was July the 9th that when it arrived. Presumably, it's an arrival c.d.s by a private ship in Hong Kong. Otherwise, the card would have cancelled with a Hong Kong c.d.s here, when you're cancelling the indicium card. At first, we thought that the IPO, would that IPO be a fake or whatever, but I'll come to that later. But other interesting features, including a Singapore hand stamp and NI agent. I don't know what NI does. It mean Netherlands Indies or something? But presumably Neil probably knows a bit more about these Singapore hand stamps than me. And then of course the Arnhem arrival, and it was redirected, so it's got several Arnhem hand stamps on the top, and a Dutton, I think it ended up in Dutton. So it was Arnhem, it went to Arnhem, and then it was redirected. So it appears that the card was sent to Hong Kong privately, presumably in a private ship, and then somehow it went from Hong Kong to Singapore, and possibly to just on the face of it, without any further research, we'll probably end up to Singapore to maybe to catch a mail boat leaving from Singapore to Europe. Okay, right. So, okay, take a look at the Amoy IPO. It is exactly the same as what Webb has well, because Webb is a drawing, but you know, you can look at the other pictures of the IPOs. This is the early one, 99, with a very good state. And note there are several features. One is square O. Okay, this is quite interesting, square O, and the square O here. And then later on, when it comes to 1900, there's a nick, there's a break in the frame under the eye, which you actually can see here. So it looks that this is a genuine strike of the IPO and not somebody just put it there just to increase the value of the item. But interestingly, why is it there without any hand stamp? Presumably, the Chinese post office then maybe sell the Hong Kong postal stationery cards with IPO imprint. Okay, the same with the stamps. They put the Chinese stamps, and they sell the Hong Kong stamps, and they put the IPO type. So that's the whole basic about the IPO type. So now we can prove that this IPO is genuine. Okay, right now. Okay, another item actually came up rather recently in KOWLOON auction. Okay, it's from the same correspondence with the Bolo book, very similar, but this one has got a Hong Kong c.d.s. as said. It went through the the official mail to Hong Kong, and then it's got a Chinese c.d.s. the Amoy and the IPO. But you look at the IPO. You see this one, the O is slightly oval, and the full stop is tiny compared to this one. But okay, we might be over inking. But most importantly, it lacks the break of the frame. So it looks to me that this is a different hand stamp, or it's a fake. Anyway, no, you don't say that kind of thing unless you actually see the real thing. But it is definitely, to me, it's a different typing, and the web only records only this type, but not this type. So maybe it's a new find.
It does look suspicious.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it looks. I think it may be just somebody said that it should have an IPO there, so they just put a fake one. I don't know. I mean, you really have to see the card. Maybe somebody will after we talk about it, somebody will send it maybe for you to look at. Right. I don't know. I mean, anybody actually seen this one with an over O? That's a $6 million question. So if there are many examples of these things, either on stamp or then it could be a type 2. Anyhow, okay. So back
sorry, just interrupt. If it's a new type, expected to be a little bit sharper.
It is very sharp if you look at this one, and it
looks a bit fuzzy to me.
Huh? Oh, maybe
looks a bit compared to the other one, which is quite sharp, although it's not incomplete.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure. I'm actually seeing the real item. But you see that it's possible. I mean, okay, if you argue that it's a type 2, it's possible. Because by August, that card was August. It was sent in August. It's in July. Sorry, July. And by October, this could have fallen apart or completely broken off. So they introduce a new type. It's possible, but anyway, we definitely need to see the card first, and hopefully somebody who bought this card could actually show us or send it to maybe the BPA or the Royal just to have it checked. It's very, very, very easy, because all you need to do is just to look whether the IPO is above or below the Hong Kong c.d.s. I mean, if it's above, that's definitely something very, very wrong with it. Well, it does look above because it's much darker, but you know, it's hard to say sometimes, you know, without seeing the real item. Anyhow, right. So as to the how the card actually got to Arnhem, well, maybe I did a bit of research, going through the old newspapers and things like that, and I worked it out. The arrival date stamp on the back of the card is 9th of July. It actually ties in with the British steamer Thales, yeah, and which actually left Foochow and then went down to Amoy and then Sha Tau, and then arrived in Hong Kong on the 9th of July. So that is quite possibly the steamer that carried the mail. Okay. Now, interestingly, on the 11th of July, the German steamer KOWLOON left Hong Kong on the 11th. So the mail could have gone on to this steamer on the 11th. Wait a few days and go on the 11th, and then you can see that it got to Singapore around the 15th and left on the 16th. But this is the straight time, so you can see that the KOWLOON there. For Bremen, they left from Yokohama on the 9th of June, and then in Singapore, it was in the 15th. They sailed on the 16th, and then I worked it out from Singapore to Port Said. It's around about 18 to 20 days, and then from Port Said to Naples, it's about 3 days. Because all the mail boats at that time actually discharged mail, or the British, of course, it's Brindisi, but for the French and the German, I think it was Naples that they discharged the mail. So actually the boat, I think only with cargo actually went to Bremen. Well, unless your letters addressed to Bremen, but rarely they actually the letters actually got to Naples a few days before. You know, if you had a whole week, I mean, it would probably take from Naples to Bremen probably about 6 days to go to Naples. So this actually worked out fine with the arrival date at Arnhem. So this does and then if you looked at all the other boats, the British and the French, the dates the dates don't match that well. Okay. So go back to the newspaper again, so you can see that there are two ships sailing to Singapore. One is a Pisano, which is an Italian ship, left Hong Kong on the 13th, and then also there's of course Xiu Sang. This is a very Chinese sounding name. Left on the 9th. So it's quite possible that the card could have been carried by this boat. This, by the way, all these have mail contracts. It's advertised by the post office to carry mail. So all these boats have a mail contract with post office. So they are not just any old cargo boats. So each of these could have carried some mail. Okay, so it's possible that the card actually somehow couldn't wait for the KOWLOON to leave Hong Kong on the 11th and went on a private ship on the 9th to Singapore, and then catch up with the mainline steamer in Singapore. Well, that's my you know, what I thought. I mean, I might be wrong, but but it's still possible that it could go on the Italian boat, because how long would it take from Hong Kong to Singapore? Maybe 3 days, 4 days, if it's a fast ship. If you're sailing direct rather than going stopping by Indonesia and things like that. So it only take about 3 days, 4 days. So, you know, in theory, you know, if the ship left at 13, it could have still arrived in Singapore on the 16th. Possible, but this is possibly, I think that the chance probably be higher, because it left on the 9th at the afternoon. I don't know, but either one. So obviously, so what happened was, you know, this was actually sent privately on the Thales to Hong Kong, and then it was sent well, or maybe somebody, an agent or somebody actually sent by private ship to Singapore. But why bother? I mean, why couldn't they wait for a few more days for the German steamer to sail from Hong Kong? This is exact this I don't understand. And then what is significant of this NI agent? Maybe some of you could tell me, what does that mean? Does it mean that it is actually for boats going to Batavia? They have, but notice that the date is exactly the same. Anyhow, any feedback so far?
Andrew?
Yes.
Richard here. I'm just looking in Gurovich's tome with all these covers in.
Yeah.
And in here, there is a 7th of October 1901 stationery card from Amoy to Hamburg.
Yeah. With
the IPO print.
Yeah.
But it's difficult for me to see. But looking with my piss poor eyesight, it looks like a more oval type O.
Uh-huh. Okay.
It's on page 378, if you want to have a look later.
Right, I'll take a look later. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
7th of October 1901.
Yeah. You mean this type?
Hmm?
With the oval rather than the square O.
Yeah. It looks like that to me, but have a look yourself.
Okay. Can I write it down? 300. What was the
378.
378. Okay. I'll take a look maybe tomorrow morning or later on tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure,
thanks for tip off. Yeah. Okay. So yes. Well, we can come back to that if you have thought of something. All right. So we go on over to the next item, which is this is actually from John, and apparently unrecorded label, a Hong Kong label, overprinted Kowloon and for use in Kowloon, and the date of the usage is, of course, you can see it 2nd of November 1950, and he's asking whether any of you have seen this usage or any of the examples of this kind of usage with other branch office, overprinting the Hong Kong registration label. Obviously, I don't know what's does that 1950 predates? There must have been earlier labels than 1950 that Kowloon has. So maybe just Kowloon ran out of labels and then decided to put the hand stamp and use some labels, borrow some labels from Hong Kong. So this is for you guys to check it out. All right, so John is a fascinating person. Always all these new things. And here's another one from him. This one is the subject is the Hong Kong to Shanghai c.d.s, marine sorter c.d.s. The dates actually matched up with the use on board of the P&O motor going from Hong Kong to Shanghai. And according to the Proud, that the index letter, this is actually type D8, and the index letter should have been C. But this looks like maybe a dash. I don't know, or maybe a poorly struck C, because the c.d.s is not perfectly clear. So it is possible that it's a poorly struck index letter, or maybe for some reason that they put a dash there, or maybe they've taken the index letter out to do for a special reason. Okay, so this is something that I've never seen this before. So maybe you guys could check it out. Think about it. Right. So I think this is the last item of the agenda. with the again is John again with the two different covers. One is the 1899 cover from Foochow, and the other is a 1906 cover from Foochow. One's Frank QV, one's Frank George, Edward VII, with a different circular R registration marking. Maybe I think Chris Norton is here, so I think he might be very interested whether these are the same marks or this is just clogged up by dirt to make it look a fatter R than this one. So the c.d.s is exactly the same. It's a Foochow type C. Both of them are within the normal usage within usage of the circular R, which is actually a long period. Actually, because only one time between 1879 and 1906, so it's a huge period. So it could possibly have two types. But anyway, have you seen something like that before? Right, I think that we go back to Sha Tau Kok, which I showed. So I think that's all I've got time for this evening. Okay, any questions? Okay. Right. Any questions? Ah, Ian. Oh, hi, Ian. Good to see you, mate.
Hi, Andrew. How are you?
Good to see you. Where are you? You're in US or in Wales?
I'm in West Virginia right now. Yes.
Oh, right. Good.
Yeah. Looking after my parents who are getting on in age. So.
All right. Good. You drinking anything good?
Not a lot recently. I'm trying to put together the Club de Monte Carlo in Monaco. Phil wants 8 frames of an overview of the China overprints. So I'm trying to put something together on that. And I still am behind on getting out an article on the registered envelopes and the postal cards, which I believe you've got a few in your collection that one of these days I want to take.
No. You've got everything.
But no, other than that, it's all going quite well.
Yeah, it's good to see you. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you, mate. Yeah. All right. So I think if no further questions, I think and maybe Susan. Susan, you've got a few things you want to share?
Sorry, nothing today.
Nothing today.
Nothing today. No, perhaps something next time.
Yeah,
I'm busy getting a display ready for a local society.
Oh, that's right. Look forward to see. Okay, I think then I think Simon, you've got a few things, right?
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yes, it's my turn, and I'll start to share screen. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Today I'm going to start a new series of presentations as inspired by Angle Nassau, and Angle was presenting one stem, one story, and I'm trying to start a series called One Day Stem, One Story. And the first one is the official pay Hong Kong, the single ring type, index number 5. Okay, this new series of official pay, or in fact, together with the postage pay day stamps, were ordered by the GPO after the Hong Kong government changed from military to civilian in 1946. And the new day stamps arrived to Hong Kong in around mid 1946, and theoretically the day stamps should be from index 1 to index 5. And the postage pay and the official pay day stamps should be sent together. And as most of you know that the earliest appearance was on the typhoon date, 1948, September the 3rd. and the post office was using index 2, 3, and 4 for as the typhoon chops. And below are the records from Proud for the official pay series. In fact, the records are having index 1, 2, 4, and 5 only. And index 3 has never been recorded, and yeah, it is quite curious. And no one knows whether it was lost, damaged, or it was never used. And among the 4 recorded ones, index 1 and 2 are relatively easier to find, and they were used to cancel ordinary mails and registered mails at GPO. And the earliest recorded usage from index 1 was on July of 1946. And okay, the topic of today is on index 5, and in fact, I'll say index 5 is quite rare, and just only a few couples have been recorded. And okay, you can go back to see Proud's record. In fact, Proud recorded only one date for index 5, 1963, April the 1st. And you can see that for the other official pay stamp 1, 2, or 4, and they were used it over quite a long period. And in journal number 25, page 73, I illustrated a card in my article which bears the index 5 date stamp. And yeah, you can see the figures, and in fact, it was a card posted from a government department to in fact, to Mr. Shack, and it is a OHMS card, and the date stamp used in fact was having the date 1963, April the 1st, which is the same date as Proud's record. And one special thing about this index 5 is that the month and the date in fact are usually quite invisible, probably because the level a bit different from the surface of the date stamp. They were on the same day. And that card, in fact, was from Labor Department and addressed to Mr. Shek at Kwaichong of Chunwan. And you can see that the originating department was Labor Department, with the address of the shop as number 22 Ice House Street, Hong Kong, in Central. And but you can see that the card has 2 portions. At the top, it is in English, while the bottom part is in Chinese. Okay, and the Chinese part, the address in fact is a little bit different. That there's a chop overwrote the Ice House Street address in Chinese, and was struck with a new Chinese chop having the address 3rd floor of HSBC building, Chunwan. So the question is whether that card was sent from Central Ice House Street or from Chunwan. Okay, the first scenario, that card was posted from the Labor Department head office at Ice House Street. And then obviously the commando clerk would bring the mail to GPO for posting. And in that case, that date stamp index number 5 was located at GPO. If it is in the second scenario, the card was originated from Chunwan branch of the Labor Department, and the address of which was 3rd floor of the Hong Kong Shanghai Bank building at Chunwan. Then we need to notice that the Chunwan Post Office at that time, or in that year, was located at the ground floor of the same building, the Hong Kong Shanghai Bank building, and the clerk from Labor Department would just bring it downstairs. Yeah, you can see from the photo, on the left side of the building was the entrance of the post office, while you can still see the Hong Kong and Shanghai Bank above the windows of the first floor of that building. And that card was addressed to Kwai Chung, and Kwai Chung in fact was one of the responsible section of the Tsuen Wan delivery office, and therefore if that card was posted from Tsuen Wan, it means that the card did not require forwarding to Kowloon Post Office or GPO. It was just postmarked and shorted locally at Tsuen Wan Post Office and for direct delivery to the address at Kwai Chung. That means under that scenario, that day stamp index number 5 was used in Tsuen Wan Post Office. Okay, let's see other examples. This is an example from the Treasury. And in fact, there's no sender's address on the envelope, only the department name, the Treasury. And the headquarters of Treasury at that time was at the west wing of the central government offices. And then there was another sub-office of the Treasury in Kowloon, and it was located in Leighton Road. And that information indicates that that account sub-office exists in 1970s. But no information could be found about any sub-office of the Treasury in the new territories in 1960s. A third example, it is from the Inland Revenue Department. And again, there's no sender's address on the envelope, only the department name. And from known information, the headquarters of Inland Revenue at that time was at Icehouse Street, also in central of Hong Kong Island. And there was a council office of the IRD in the Hong Kong Shanghai Bank building at Leighton Road at Argyle Street. But again, there's no information showing showing the existence of any sub-office of the Inland Revenue in the new territories. I believe at that time, I mean in early 1960s, in Tsuen Wan, which was just a new town in that period, the Hong Kong and Shanghai Bank building at that location, 455 to 457 Castle Peak Road, was the only office building which was secure and fit enough for setting up of government offices in that area. And in fact, it hosted several other departments besides of the Hong Kong and Shanghai Bank, but without the treasury of the Inland Revenue Department. And these are the departments in that building. And the top 2 floors were for the dormitories for the HSBC staff, and then the 3rd floor for Labor Department, 2nd floor for the New Territories District Office, the 1st floor for the District Birth and Marriage Registry, while the ground floor was the post office and the bank branch. So it is unlikely that the Treasury or the Inland Revenue have any sub-office located in other buildings or other listed offices in Tsuen Wan in 1960s. And on the other hand, from another perspective, that card from Labor Department was addressed to the famous Mr. Peter Shack. And in fact, it is the only recorded example from Peter Shack having that official pay single ring index number 5. And that postmark could not have escaped the famous collector's eye. It is very special. So it was from Tsuen Wan. I believe that Mr. Shack should have obtained many more copies of that postmark, like a single ring index number 4 from North Point Post Office. And in fact, Mr. Shack has quite a few examples. But as for this index number 5, in fact, Mr. Shack got 1 example as per my record. Maybe he got a few more, but according to my record, that is the only one. So I guess only if that cancellation was not easily available to him, or is or its appearance, because it's just Hong Kong index number 5, and that appearance had misled him about its origin. Then he was not able to, or very keen to acquire more copies. Then another question is that if official pay index 5 was in GPO, then why its existing examples are so scarce? You can imagine index number 1, index number 2, and together several other machine cancels. There are plenty of them still exist in the market. But the several examples that I've shown are a little bit special. They are either creased, large size, or folded, and I can imagine they could not be cancelled normally, or have escaped the normal cancellation by the routine base stamps. So my conclusion: the official pay index number 5 was used in the GPO sorting office as an auxiliary base stamp. Okay, our final destination. After the phasing out of all official pay base stamps in late 1960s, and that specific index number 5 base stamp did not reappear again in any other places. And the final destiny, and normally it is assumed that in 1996 to 1997, all the colonial style base stamps were gradually replaced by a new format with Chinese characters. And it is generally believed that those base stamps were put into a secured vault or scrapped. But the truth is, it still exists. And you can see from the Hong Kong Post and the CPA book called the Hong Kong Base Stamps, the series, you can find the photo of that particular index number 5 official pay Hong Kong base stamp as illustrated in that book. And also, my question is that are those base stamps now in private hands? Because somehow I got a photo from a private exhibition of base stamps. And that exhibition included a lot of genuine base stamps or old base stamps that should be scrapped or shouldn't exist anymore. But the truth is that they are now in private hands. And yes, I hope that those genuine base stamps will not be used to produce fake covers or cards. Yeah, that's the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah. Well, obviously, we have been told about the destiny of the pre-97 date stamps. Where they were dumped. I mean, they just use the word dumped. I mean, it doesn't mean that nobody knows what exactly. Obviously, it's going to be a secret of what happened to them. They could have been sent back to the UK for destruction and or metal scrapyard, and then maybe a few of them fell off the back of the lorry or something, and somebody picked them up or whatever. I don't know. I mean, the question is maybe Neil would know, because you have some of these stamps in well, not from Hong Kong obviously, but from the other British colonies.
Not so new, no.
No. So why did they appear? Where did they appear? I mean, where did they come from?
Well, often these things are sent for destruction, but somebody keeps a few. Yeah.
Because there was so much steel that they could actually be used for other purposes. Obviously, the whole of the so-called British Commonwealth have hundreds of these stamps, and they were all sent back. And then maybe if the postmaster of a particular colony had 10 of them, but maybe he kept one for himself and sent 9 back. Who cares?
That's quite likely, actually.
Yeah,
People keep them as souvenirs, yes.
That's right. Kept one for
Official souvenirs.
He kept it for maybe just kept one. But to him, I mean, in the c.d.s number 1 to number 5 exactly the same to him. So you could just kept one and send the rest back. So
I was trying to figure out the usages of the cancellation date stamps and the index letters.
yeah,
Certainly in the treaty ports, we assume that I think Index C was kept and used by the postmaster themselves. But Tianjin, for instance, they used A to F for the days of the week, and then F was reused on Sundays. And then others, they'll have used just D and B. And what the heck happened to A, C, D? I've never quite understood the rationale or how any of this worked, to be honest with you. There's a broad outline, but can anyone share any information?
I think each post office has its own system. I mean, I think that they would be. I think in the old days it would be. In the early days, I mean, I would say it'd be related to the postmaster and the clerk. But later on, I'm pretty sure that it would be like a kind of time code system, whatever index they use, or maybe there was just like sort of mail closing time or something.
But I think one of the things that makes it so random is local practice from treaty port to treaty port or branch to branch. Everybody has a little bit different interpretation of the rules, and everybody has, exceptions when a guy gets sick and there's somebody replacing him for a week or something. It's ends up, it's so really random. So trying to make sense of it now in retrospect is really a fool's errand in some ways.
Yeah,
I mean, it's interesting to try to study that and figure it out, but I think there's that element of randomness is really tough to decipher.
Good. Yeah. Philippe, are you there still?
Yes, I am there. Thank you.
Yes, I'm kind of hoping that you might actually say something about your monograph. Just give us a 5-10 minutes introduction so that everybody can actually study it. Because I find it very interesting.
Thank you, Andrew. And since I never get any answers or any reaction to this monograph until you talk about it, I thought that it was very boring and no one read it. But apparently you did, and I really appreciate that. Yeah. In fact, I tried to keep people from printing it or downloading it and printing it on their copy machine. I tried to have it on pay-per-view, print on demand on Amazon. Yeah. And but they never accepted my draft. They always came back saying that the margin were wrong, that was wrong, and so on. And after several attempts, I gave up, and I just printed one copy for myself on Book Baby. Wow. So it's a nice book, and it's very well printed. So anyway, it took me quite some years to do it and to get the research and so on. It was a fun project. I tried to illustrate all or as many as possible councils that were illustrated in the tom 5 of Sal, this book, which is very informative.
Well, and I find, it's an update.
I find it very difficult. Sorry?
It's an update of Huang Mengxiao's book. Some of the cancels that he didn't even describe. And then you've got
okay. Yeah, could be. I have not seen the update, but anyway, it was quite difficult to find all those councils, and as you mentioned, the early one are extremely difficult to get. But I had several in my collection that I've sold since. But it was a fun project, and so
yeah.
I just put it on, upload it, and Frank was kind enough to upload it on the Hong Kong and Study Circle website.
Well, please enter it for the Web Cup.
Well, if someone wants to sponsor it, I would be very proud of it.
No, enter is Web Cup. You just enter it yourself.
Or can I?
Yeah.
Can I?
You don't need a sponsor. You don't need to pay
Okay.
anything. You just enter it as in a Web Cup competition.
Okay, I will. Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah.
And but anyway, it was fun. It has a lot of information in it, and of all the ships that transported those covers, and well, it is there for anyone to look at it, to download
Well,
it.
the other one about the pictures, the picture postcards of the ships are also excellent. And
I try to find a picture of all the ship, all the French ship, and I only miss 2 or 3 out of all the. Some are the very early one, Guyenne, for instance, and so on, are very difficult to find. I didn't find them, but otherwise the others are pretty common. And
who published those cards? Is it the
some were published by Messageries Maritimes themselves.
Oh, Mrs. German James. Oh, okay.
And some other by a different printer, but many of them were from Messageries Maritimes. They were probably sold on board of the ship.
You could enter that in a competition, in a picture postcard as a picture postcard exhibit. That would be very nice.
I could do that too. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that would be very nice. Yeah, because you got so many of them.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. Yes. And of course, the most prized are the one with a Hong Kong stamp with a Hong Kong Council, but there are a few of them.
Yeah. Right. So
it is a good reminder, though, that Frank Young, when he puts when something comes up new on the website, he sends us an email, and I remember getting that when Philippe, when your monograph was put on the website, but it came out around a time when I was so busy, I couldn't do anything about it to even look at it. So now I realize, hey man, I got to go and check that out, and I'm pretty sure from this session you're going to get some feedback.
Okay, good. I'll be pleased. And Vincent helped me on several of those items. And,
very nice. Very nice. Good. Anyone got anything further to add? Neil, you want to say something about the sale?
Well, hope you've all got the catalogue, and I expect to see you next week. But along the French mailboats you're talking about, the next sale next year, I know we've got three of the ships one, and one's on a single Hong Kong stamp.
Ah, very nice.
So I will send Philippe, I will send pictures of those.
Yeah.
For reference.
Okay, well, the advantage of the website is that I can make an update anytime and upload it again. I can constantly update it. And, so I appreciate that. Yes, thank you.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I get it scanned when I go next to the office. I work from home most of the time, so when I go in, I'll try and take them in and get them scanned.
Right. Good. Adrian, you're terribly quiet today.
Hello. I arrived a bit late, that's why.
Huh?
I arrived a bit late.
All right. Too cold, too cold. Oh, Ian, are you cold in your dwelling, in your house?
Oh yes, we've got about 4 inches of snow on the ground here, and we're anticipating a couple more inches tomorrow. So I'm bundled up, drinking coffee, doing nothing, and then trying to work on a new exhibit, but it's driving me crazy.
Drink some whiskey, will keep you warm.
That always helps, but at 9:30 in the morning they frown upon that just a little bit. The only acceptable morning alcohol is vodka, because that goes in the Bloody Mary, right?
All right.
In the last few days, we have been very cold in Texas. That's why I'm still wearing scarf. We had the minus 10 degrees Celsius, which is very unusual for Texas, and we are not equipped for that. So we have been freezing, but now it's getting better.
Okay. All right. So I think Chinese New Year is the falls on the New Year's Day falls on the 10th of February. So although our scheduled meeting should have been 15th, which is actually Chinese New Year Day 6. I think it's still maybe some of the locals are still on vacation, on Chinese New Year vacation. So I propose actually to postpone that to the 22nd of February, which might be we might get more people coming to the meeting, even though it's a Zoom meeting. So anybody, I think Thursday actually is a quite a good day for some of us, or many of us. So I think we stick to Thursday. And I'm so glad that it actually doesn't clash with either the royal one, which the royal meeting, which starts a bit late, a couple of hours later, and then of course we don't have actual a physical meeting on Thursday. So that's cool for me. So anyway, okay. Well, in that case, I wish you an early Kong Hei Fat Choi, Chinese New Year, and and I look forward to have for every one of you to have a very successful philatelic year of dragon to come, and although I get no commission, but do actually look into Spring's auction next week. So you might pick up some bargains. You never know. I doubt.
Always bargains in auction. You got to be lucky though.
Okay, in that case, thank you very much for joining the meeting, and I'll see you next month. Okay. It's good
Thank
night.
you, Andrew.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, folks.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you. Bye.